Hey, how's it going? Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to take you through how to make living in the end easy. This is going to be for you if you are someone who is trying to manifest either better health, more wealth, a new career, an increase in your growth in your business, whatever it is, you have a specific desire that you are trying to bring into reality. You're using visualization, you're trying to feel the future as real, you're using some of Neville Goddard's work, maybe Joe Dispenza's, maybe Greg Braden, Abraham Hicks, all these sorts of people you've tried. And your difficulty at the moment is you cannot maintain the wish fulfilled, right? So either visualization itself is very difficult for you to actually try and get in and feel it initially, or you might be able to do the visualization and get in and kind of feel it slightly. But then as the day goes on, and as days go on and weeks go on, you lose this feeling. You cannot anchor it and maintain living in the end, okay? So I'm going to go through and explain and give you some proof to show you that this works, first of all, and then I'm going to explain how you do it. Because in order for you to create exactly what you want, you are going to have to be able to live in the end consistently, minute to minute, day to day, week to week, until it manifests, okay? And it's actually fun to do. If you can maintain the feeling right now, in the moment you're in right now, that your desire has already happened, can you imagine how amazing you'd feel? Can you imagine how differently you'd vibe with people and how you'd see yourself if you already knew that this was going to happen? And it comes down to generating feeling, and it comes down to getting your mind and your heart to work together to both agree that this is going to happen, okay? What I'm going to explain now is a testimonial that was posted by my client Thomas yesterday in his first attempt at applying the creation formula, which I'm going to explain how to do at the end of this video. Okay, this is Thomas's testimonial is based on 8 months. It's slightly more than that, but it's around 8 months of trying to work out how to do this stuff. When I first spoke to him, he was really diligent. He'd learned a ton of stuff around Joe Dispenza's work, Greg Braden's work, and Neville Goddard's work. And he was able to sort of get into roughly the visualization process and kind of feel what he wanted. But the feeling would never be powerful enough where it made him feel like this was actually possible and it had already happened, right? And he could then enjoy the moment and continue anchoring this feeling. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read this. I'll put the little up in the corner now so you can see this post, and I'll try and zoom it a bit so you can see a little bit about what he said. But I just wanted to share this now and I'll read it out for you. Okay, so bear with me, and you can obviously speed this up. It's not hugely long, but it's not just me talking about this. This is someone in the heroic community in their first time of applying this. This is what they got in terms of the results, okay? So this is from Thomas. Hey folks, we just had our first session with Ollie to try the creation formula and apply it to my personal challenges. And honestly, I was not disappointed. Like most of us here, we're aiming to realize big desires, not just manifesting a cup of coffee. So when it comes to techniques, many teachers explain how easy it should be, yet in real life, we quickly realize how hard it is to actually apply them day to day. Most of the time, I run into resistance, and it's difficult to maintain alignment between the body, heart, and the mind and keep the inner work alive on the 3D. What's powerful about Ollie's technique is that it teaches you how to come back into your body and step out of that mental struggle. You reconnect, regain coherence, and everything starts to flow again. I have to say, in just one session, I was genuinely surprised by how fast, for the first time, I could sense real progress toward my desire instead of constantly struggling against it. Compared to other techniques, you'll quickly understand why you want to manifest your desire and how to truly feel the emotion connected to it. From there, imagination does the rest without forcing. It feels real and it sticks. Of course, it requires repetition like anything worthwhile, but it definitely unlocks something I hadn't been able to access for months. Thanks, Ollie. Now, thank you, Thomas, because half of this is you actually going in and doing it and having the courage and the ferocity, I suppose, to be like, okay, I'm willing to apply this, I'm willing to do the work. So Thomas, awesome work, dude, and I'm so excited to see the next couple of days and the next few weeks and carrying on, because you have now anchored that feeling, and you know, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you will be, you know how to maintain that forever now because of the anchoring process, okay? So what's this process? What's the creation formula? This is a way which I have put together because for me, I was also in this same boat, okay? Learning so much information and getting up in the mornings before work in the past to, okay, I need to do a visualization. I need to sit here until I can feel it as real, and it being a real battle. And even if I could get into the feeling of it being real, I would never be able to maintain that feeling, right? It would just disappear within a few hours. Sometimes it was a day or so, and I'd have this real sense of, it's almost like a fog, like a depression of like, oh no, I've lost this feeling again. Okay? What needs to happen in order for you to fully believe and feel your future as real is that your mind and your heart need to work as one. Both your mind needs to agree rationally and objectively that this is what you want and this is what has to happen for this to be true. And secondly, your heart has to be on board because it has to feel what is going to happen in your reality. Okay, it has to feel it as real now. What tends to happen is the reason that you struggle to maintain the feeling or actually get into the visualization initially is because your mind isn't clear on exactly what it is that you want or what it's going to look like. Okay, so the vagueness sometimes is Neville Goddard's work, and I believe fully in his work, but this is just a different way to look at this, all right? Rather than saying just get into an end scene of this being true, in this current world of technology as well, where we are bombarded, our sensory systems are bombarded with information, we're very much up in our own heads. That's quite tough to do, is to settle yourself down and get to a position where you can think, okay, I'm going to build out an end scene. So what your mind needs to do is you need to make sure that you can fully have an understanding of exactly what has to happen in order for you to believe that this reality is true. For example, if I was chasing health, right? I wanted to be in the best health possible. I would need to write out and take some time and think, okay, if I was in the best health possible, how would I know what that would look like? What would have to happen in my life for this to be true? Okay, and it's such an important step, and it takes a little bit of time, but it allows you to sort of brain dump and go, okay, I'm talking about building wealth. What even is that? Okay, what even is wealth for me? Is it this amount of money? Is it a certain amount of income? Is it a certain amount of savings? Right? Is it my investments going to a certain amount? Is it all of these things? Do all of these things have to sort of take place before I will believe that that statement is true, right? I am financially free, or I am wealthy and abundant. You have to define what it is for you, and it can't be generic. You have your own definition internally. Almost your soul has its own definition of what health is, what wealth is, what an amazing relationship is. Okay? When you do this, you will kind of like create this space that you can then go in, and then you can start feeling all these different facets of your life that need to happen for it to be true. And this is when your mind is in coherence, right? There's this sort of relaxation in the mind. The brain waves start to shift into that alpha theta state. And then your heart can start to feel it, and your heart gets into coherence. You can feel those elevated emotions for each of those things in your life. And it's personal to you, right? You've taken the time, and it's exciting. You start to think, yes, this is exactly what I want. And then the heart goes, okay, this is exactly what you want. I'm feeling it. And they combine together, and it's incredibly powerful. Okay, and then you can anchor this by learning how to maintain this state for the rest of the day. And then every time you need a little boost, or you feel like you're overwhelmed, or a 3D circumstance throws you off, you can just dip into this within a second, and you go straight back to feeling and maintaining that feeling. And you build momentum, right? And in order to create what you want, you need to be able to maintain belief, which builds momentum, which keeps reaffirming that this is actually working. So you get that subconscious reaffirming, which builds your belief even more powerfully. Okay, so this video, this is how you live in the end. This is how you make it easy. If you are constantly battling, something is wrong, right? If you're fighting against your thoughts, if you're doubting yourself, if things aren't working out, if you're lethargic, if you're tired now, if you're sick of more information and you feel completely stagnant, check out the link to join the Heroic community below. If you join, I will take you through exactly how to start implementing the creation formula immediately, and you can start feeling the wish fulfilled and maintaining it, and living in the end, and start seeing stuff build and transform really quickly. Okay, so little short video before the weekend. I wanted to drop this to you because Thomas posted this yesterday, and it was really powerful for the group and really powerful, hopefully, for you to see that I'm not just talking about this from me. This is someone else who's done this too, right, and felt this shift. So thank you so much for your time. Take care, and I might see you in another video or in the community. Bye-bye.